All right, this is the game of the season. This, without a doubt, so far is the game of the season. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 2. And the game at the last minute, almost the last kick of the game was won by a 16-year-old in real Ngumoha. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Premier League. And we saw the champions put in a champions performance. I'm going to tell you straight up off the bat. Newcastle deserved this. Newcastle played their asses off. Newcastle literally pressed Liverpool all over the pitch. After going down to a very bad tackle from Anthony Gordon to Van Dijk getting a red card, it's almost as if Anthony Gordon was still playing because Newcastle were playing with 10 men, went behind, Liverpool scored again, and then Newcastle came back in the game 2-2. And then after that, they were just on a complete tear. St. James's Park was kicking. Listen, the noise, I had to turn down my earpods because the noise was that loud. St. James's Park was that today. And the fact that Liverpool scraped a win, having, to me, one of their worst performances under Arne Slot since he's been in charge, and still got a 3-2, it speaks to the quality of the team. It speaks to the quality of the team. It speaks to the heart of a champion, and it speaks to a 16-year-old who has ice in his veins. Listen, we lauded and raved for Lamine Yamal when he came on the scene for Barcelona, and particularly into what he did in terms of what he did at the Euros. But the fact that a 16-year-old in the Premier League did this against one of the best teams, to be honest with you, in England, that is fighting for a Champions League spot, is absolutely chef's kiss. And I have to say, I literally have to take my hat off for Newcastle. Newcastle fans, you have one of the best managers in the league. You have one of the best managers in the league in Eddie Howe. Any manager, and I'm being dead serious, any manager would crumble after going a man down. And normally, they wouldn't say, you know what, let me just put on a substitute, put on a defender, and let us play 5 around the back, and 3 in the midfield, and 1 up front. Right? But the fact that he said, no, we're going to stick to our guns, we're going to still use the same formation with less, because now it becomes a 4-3-2. And the fact that they still played Liverpool off the park. I'm not lying to you. You have to watch the game again. Newcastle dominated Liverpool in large sections of the game. And I'm not talking in terms of just football, in terms of physicality. Of course, they're that. But the way how they pressed today, it was... Listen, this is why we love football. And the entertainment factor was there. It had every single thing. It had the controversy, it had the goals, and it had the thriller. It had the heartache and pain. When you heard Newcastle fans in my ear, like the entire stadium when it was 2-2, it's absolutely crazy because persons were just like off the seat and they just went on it again. I was wondering, I'm being dead serious, I was wondering if Newcastle were going to pull it off and do a Liverpool what we did to them 2 seasons ago. But the fact that Liverpool still held on is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I have to commend some of the players because I'm going to point out the main one. The man of the match for me, really, is... Sorry. The man of the match for me, really, is Dominic Szoboszlai. Dominic Szoboszlai has to start in Liverpool every single game. And I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious about this. If Frimpong does not start at right back, Dominic Szoboszlai needs to start at right back. Listen, he has 3 lungs. The way how he ran, the way how he pressed, the way how he handled 1v1 situations with Harvey Barnes or with Anthony Gordon when they went on the wing because he was playing as a right back. He was the man of the match. And then when the changes happened and he pushed forward into the midfield, he was the one that provided the dummy so that Rio could score the winner. Listen, I am so proud of Rio. He has been absolutely sensational in preseason, and I'm glad that the world saw this. Because really, people, this was a game that was anticipated to be the game. It is the control or the ownership of Isak per se. And to be honest with you, Newcastle had balls, played a good amount of ball, passes, crosses, where they should have finished. Anthony Gordon got a chance and should have finished at least two. If a striker was there, possibly Isak, they would have been leading maybe 1 or 2 goals. But Isak wasn't there. Isak wasn't there. And Newcastle still found a way to tie the game 2-2. And to be honest, listen, there is a main concern, and I'm starting at the back. Konate has to be benched. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I've been saying this for the longest while. I don't know if it's the Real Madrid thing that is happening, but what I'm seeing more from Konate is that his composure and technicality on the ball is lacking. And that is because Trent would normally be there to progress the ball as best as possible or be his partner. But I think the fact that the higher the fullback, the right back, like Szoboszlai, like Frimpong, and sometimes like Bradley, you see his lack thereof in terms of quality on the ball, the La Pausa kind of thing. He was awful today. He was horrendous. Horrendous. And it was so stagnant in his play, like he held up the ball for so long. And I'm saying, move the ball, circulate the ball. You have 10 versus 11, move the ball around, but he keeps holding on to the ball. And he's not the best at passing. He's not press resistant either. So it just showed up his game, and Newcastle went at him like, whoa. Listen, there were a few players that stood out today. Szoboszlai, again, for me, is the man of the match. Hugo Ekitike, what a signing. What a signing. And we want to make a video about him. I think I'm going to make a video about him. But he has been absolutely sensational, and his signing has just helped Liverpool. His quality off and on the ball. Yes, he kind of slender, skinny, but he held on to the ball. He kind of shielded off his man when he was pressed. But he is so good technically. He was brilliant. I thought Gravenberch, if not Szoboszlai, Gravenberch would have been the man of the match, especially seeing that he scored. He put in a mature performance. A mature kind of performance. Still, he needs to be a little bit more match sharp, but his play today, he was so good, especially going into the next 93 minutes with a yellow card based on the tackle that he made, which again is also a controversy we can talk about. You can let me know in the comments, but he was sensational. And I thought Van Dijk was absolutely brilliant, even though, I think, I don't know what to say, fam. Because to be honest with you, he was the shining light in that back line. And also Szoboszlai, Kirkes was awful. Again, how he has been playing the back post. How can you turn your back when a cross is coming in and the person is pushing? Come on, fam. I'm saying this now, and hopefully somebody clips this. But I really believe that Kirkes needs to be benched and watch from the bench as to how to play. Because his his defending has been atrocious. I think right now, I strongly believe that Arne Slot needs to look at this defense and say, we need challengers. We need fighters. This game wasn't necessarily about tactics. It was just about duels. How are you winning your personal duels, your 1v1s against the person that you're assigned to? And Kirk has lost most of his. Not to mention Konate. We're not even going to talk about him. Awful. I think something needs to happen with that back line. And it's not even a systematic issue. It's literal errors. Like lapsing concentration, things of that nature. And I'm saying like, yo, what is this? But I thought that was bad. Salah is just funny, right? Salah would just completely go silent in the game and just pop up and just provide an assist. I don't think he played his best game either. Gakpo providing an assist, I thought that was okay. He didn't play well. So really, if we're talking maybe, so Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Van Dijk, and I believe Curtis Jones also played. It took a while for him to kind of integrate himself into the game. But after which probably like 30, 35 minutes, he began to settle the ball and began to show more control in the midfield, which in fact is most important when it comes onto a game like this, where Newcastle wants to go toe-to-toe, wants to go box-to-box, wants it to be a basketball game. You need to take the sting out of the game and control the tempo. And I think he did that pretty well. So really have a fact. And then Wirtz did his thing. Persons are saying give him time. I don't know about that, because I'm not saying he should hit the ground running, but his impact on the game needs to be more apparent. It needs to be shown. He has not kind of cemented himself in the Premier League as yet. He has not shown that quality that we paid for. I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, that he does. But I thought today he wasn't good, all that good. And I know it's going to take a while, give him patience, but listen, you don't have patience when you're the champions. Sometimes you have to hit ground running, just like Ekitike did. And just like even, and probably like Rio as a new signing per se. You have to hit the ground running, so he needs to be better. And the next game is Arsenal. Oh boy, what a stress. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe, share. Damn, is this a game of the match or not? Game of the season? I think it is. I think it really is the game of the season. You let me know. But till next time, guys. Peace.